Hello, hello, test, test. Can anyone hear me? I don't want to do the intro if my stream's on fire, like last time. So, hopefully, we're doing good here. Good morning. Good morning, stream. Alex says I can't. Don't troll me, dude. Anyone else but Alec? All right, I'm gonna take that. That's good. That's good. Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm Paisen with Couch Cat. For all of you who know who we are, welcome back to another morning stream. A little different than usual, but if you're new here, if you're lurking, shout out to all of you for stopping by and showing support. This stream is a little different because we're going over a game that us, Paisen, myself, Crazyfy, and all of our other friends that are here, we've been playing a game in the backstage, if you will, alongside SimpleMMO and all of our other usual games that we cover here. But yeah, so those of you who are super new, we exist within like the indie space. We, our interests align with all those browser and mobile, lightweight, I guess that's like the trigger word now. So like lightweight MMORPGs. And today I'm going over Ironwood RPG, which fits that bill to a T, if you will. But yes, good morning, everyone. Smash that like button before the stream explodes. Okay, all right, we're moving on. Okay, so what we're talking about today, we're talking about Ironwood RPG. It's a solo dev operation, and I believe his name is Mickey Boy. I hope you say that right. At least that's how I believe how you say it. But it's ran by one dude, and it's a idle, incremental, lightweight MMO is how we're going to describe it here. And if you Google it, that's how it's described anyway. And it's playable on browser and web app. So there's no dedicated apps yet, of course, because it's an alpha. But they are on the roadmap, and we'll go over that soon here. But I mean, just save the game to your home screen on your phone, and it works perfectly. It just as good as a browser. And I always describe this as it's a game for idle purist, as in you can play this game completely idle and it doesn't punish you for it. But there are hybrid aspects to the game, which I'll cover in a couple seconds, I guess. And most importantly, there's MMO aspects to Ironwood RPG. And again, we're going to cover it. You can kind of see a little bit of it right now on my screen over here. Wait, I need to point this way. You can't even see my finger. It doesn't matter. But anyway, to my left, you have the guild screen, because that's the major MMO aspect right now to the game. But what we're going to do is we're going to go through the game through all the tabs. I'm not going to bore you. We're going to keep it short and sweet. And then also some things in the Discord I want to point out that good signs that this game it's got a healthy community and a healthy track record for progressing out of alpha. But before we begin, shout out to everyone from the Couch Cat Guild within Ironwood RPG. I know some of you are here. You usually don't watch our streams, but thank you for showing up. Smash the like button, and we're going to get the top 10 probably in the future. It'll take our whole life. But okay, so over here, if you have full screen, this doesn't have to pop out, but if your screen's minimized like mine, it does, and it's super sleek. And when we say lightweight, it's not to say that there's not like in-depth layers to this game, but the way it functions and how it's designed is super streamlined, a super simple UI. It's not even distasteful. I think it looks great here. And it's just very intuitive, and there's no fluff, if you will. But you can definitely get lost in some of the menus here. But we're going to start right off the bat. We have inventory, and it's just endless. It's just endless inventory. I don't even believe there's a cap. I haven't been knocked with hogging space or anything, and there's probably just wasted money in here and potential. But here's where everything is stored, and then the upgrade tab feeds out of the inventory tab. And in this game, for weapons and armor sets and tools, the upgrade path is just duplicating the item. So for instance, we have these bronze perfect, or to get perfect copper gloves. Well, one, they are perfect copper gloves. If I want to go into the next tier, which would be the superior iron gloves, I need to make 250 iron gloves. And this is where the purist comes in, and you're like, fine, set them out and I'll walk away, and then I'll eventually get better. But this is the inventory tab. And moving on, we have the equipment tab. And this is just like it says, this is where all your equipment is. This is where your accessories. Wow, look at all the accessories I have. I'm not a pro. Your tools. Listen, I played this game without upgrading anything until not even a month ago. Okay, so you're gonna see a lot of like the veteran players here from Ironwood. You're gonna laugh, and that's okay because that just shows that you can be really bad at this game and still have a good time and progress. That's my excuse. Stop messing with me in chat. Anyway, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Casper Boots. There's utility slots and consumables, which feeds into combat. Silver Wolf, don't call me out. It feeds into combat, and we'll go over that, of course, when we get to the combat tab. But here is also the tomes that feed out of the equipment tab, and this is where it's pretty new to the game. The enchanting skill, which we'll go over. You can craft tomes, and then they each have their own upgrade path that give you passive modifiers to your skill set, to your combat, to a plethora of things in the game. So there's always ways to improve your character. And then there's stats. So if you love tracking stats, if you love tracking maybe personal milestones, or this could be a goal generation for you if you want to get X amount %, it's here. Okay, moving on to house. So one of the cool things in a lot of maybe idle or like browser, not minimized, but lightweight MMOs, this is one of the features that I would say it's almost standard at this point. Some type of feature that's a gold sink, a resource sink, and can passively benefit your player, and that's the housing system. And Ironwood RPG has a very awesome, I would say awesome housing system here. And so we'll go to the build tab, which shows a bunch of stations. So if you play games like My Time at Portia or Sandrock, or just any farming sim that has like a shit ton of workstations, Ironwood has that, and each of them are fully upgradable, and they also require different parts. So these parts you see here are actually new to the game, which is pretty cool. It alleviates the hassle of resource gathering. You'll see it when you start playing. You'll understand the change. But so they all have different requirements, money, parts. Some actually require blueprints, like you'll see here with the spit roasts and even the kiln in the cauldron, I believe. Yeah, and we'll get into that as well. But yeah, fully upgradable, and the stats are collected below. There's also a way to further increase your passives with the new and enhance or enchanting skill here. And of course, you'll see what the essence requirement and the percentage you'll gain by further enhancing your workstations. And then production. So you can, to a point, well, not to a point, but you can, while you're so I'm in combat right now, while you're doing something different, your hands aren't tied with these workstations. You can produce resources, depending what it is, while you're doing something else. So while I'm doing combat, I don't have to stop and turn my logs into coal, or charcoal, excuse me, coal. We all know what that's coming from. And I can set it's slow, okay, but I can set it to passively produce charcoal, which is, a very baseline resource for a lot of the things like cooking, etc. that go on in this game. But that's the housing system. It's awesome. It's got three tabs with 3 layers, and I enjoy it. And this actually carries over to the guild tab, which we'll see soon enough. Welcome to the stream, Caveman. All right, so here's probably one of the best tabs in the game. This is where that MMO aspect comes from. So Ironwood RPG, the MMO, portion of the game isn't fully realized, but there are leaderboards, and there is guild systems, or a guild system, excuse me. And here you can have up to 25 members, and you're all contributing to objectives, housing upgrades, quests, and events. So think, if you've ever played Idle Clans like we did back in the day, it's in the same vein, but not as punishing and not as taxing. Because again, this is a an idle purist game at heart. At least I believe, and you can all passively progress together or be as active as you want. But here you can track all your members by gold contribution and daily XP and dates, when they were last logged in. I'm checking real quick to see if I have to kick anyone from our guild, but shout out to all of my guild members. So the guild tab, you'll track your level and you'll track your EXP bar to the next level. You'll have announcements. This is a very important announcement. Become stronger so Senpai notices us. I wonder who put that there. And then there's requests. So this is just specifically for joining into the guild. There's no, guild armory or anything like that. And then there's daily guild quests, as you'll see in a bunch of other idle games that have, the daily tasks that you need to complete, not only for yourself, but maybe games have it for like your pet or your guild or whatever. We have one outstanding Copper Hammer. I'm pretty sure Crazyfy, my counterpart's doing that right now because he didn't join the combat event. Isn't that great? So here's the event. This is like the strongest MMO aspect or mechanic of the game. So each combat event has a countdown timer. You also have a target EXP that you're wanting to aim for. And this is the guild credits that you'll earn to further upgrade buildings within your guild that give you passive bonuses. But also the guild credits actually, I would even say it's like a skill tree within the guild system. And I'll show you that in a second. But here's all the info that that breaks down along with this event. And these are all the participants. So I'm here. I'm usually up here. Don't let that fool you. But this is showing everyone in combat in the event and what they're specifically targeting. And then, of course, here's our fearless co-lead, Crazyfy, with no EXP, and he's doing Copper Hammers, like I said. So beautiful stuff here. Here's the buildings, okay? Here, someone tell Nallery they're idle. Shouting them out. Yeah. Okay, so here's the building portion. Again, this is a resource sink, but it's a collective resource sink. And each building has its own, different effect on the guild. So Guild Hall increases guild quest tier and credit reward. So this tab right here, these become harder. They require resources, later down the tiered list, right? So instead of a copper hammer, it could be a silver hammer or a cobalt hammer, things of that nature. And then you have the library, that more EXP. Guild bank, you earn more coin from the quests. Guild storage, gathering efficiency, and so on and so forth. And as you can see, the requirements get steeper over time, which, I mean, if you played Idle Clans, it's nothing. It's not even close to how ridiculous those requirements were. And Idle Clans, if you don't know, is a Melvor Idle clone. So requirements here, and you'll see this is where the guild credits come into play. Like the main reasoning to finish the guild quests and the events are to participate in the events as a team. The coins we can all collectively just straight up donate to. Silver Wolf, I'm looking at you, and the resources required. And then ranking, again tying into the strongest MMO aspect of the game, is this is where you get like that guild competition itch here. So we're Couch Cat, we're number 24, and you'll see the tracks. And we got number 1, 2, and 3 have beautiful little trophy icons. And look at the EXP. It's got to be over time, right? We think it is, but it's just amazing. And this is the main competition in the game. There's no PvP right now. It's this, and then the leaderboards for individual performance and skill level, etc. But this is the main competition. If you're a player who's got a group of friends, or your guild established in another game like Simple, and you're like, well, if we join this, what are we actually, what are we doing as a guild together? This is what you're doing. You're competing for rankings. But to be warned, alpha, it's alpha, and there is going to be a data wipe. There's going to be no leverage moving forward. There's still more on that, but I did read that alpha testers will get some type of cosmetic to signify they are testing. But anyway, for right now, this is what you're doing. And then settings, I don't even know what the heck it is. Leave guild, don't do that. All right, moving on to the merchant. Merchant, just like in any other game like Simple, and maybe even Idle MMO, it's an NPC store that you can sell things When you go in your inventory, you hit sell, you're selling to like the merchant, and then you can buy stuff. So if you're a new player and you want to get a leg up, this is where you go. You can buy ammo if you're ranged, because in the combat I'll go over, there's different types of range or combat styles, your tools and things of that nature. Market. So another MMO aspect. So we basically have the guild system and the leaderboards. We have a player ran market as well, good or bad. I've never used this, so I don't know. I don't know how useful it is, but I know players are constantly buying off it and putting items up. And you can sort by date, item, or price. You can see your orders or the live orders, and then listings. You can track your own listings, what you want to order, what you want to sell. So orders, so you can buy, and then orders are people putting up what they want to buy from other players. So very MMO-y, you know, MMO-y. Okay. And then here's quests. So quest, we say this is idle purist, but we also believe here at CouchCat, it's got hybrid aspects as well, right? And one of the hybrid aspects is daily quests, not only for guilds, but for your personal or your character. So you can choose. Right now I have five total daily quests I can complete, and you complete them for quest points. And the quest points can be used to turn into, you know, things like this: increasing daily quest cap, quest auto completes, and then quest minimum tier as well, which boosts the, how do I say this, the difficulty level of your quest, just like in the guilds when you do like the guild hall. So you can, right now I can choose any 5 of these, and you'll see here, say I wanted to pick roses because I love flowers. This is the EXP I would get, and these are the coins I would get and the quest points. So in a testing, even though it's alpha, right, it's completely a testing phase. They did add pets, and you could use quest points towards those pets. But the pets are taken out. It was wonky. They'll be back in the future. But yeah, so this is where you can actively play the game and min-max like the additional EXP you want to earn on top of, you know, maybe you're working on that crafting or gathering or combat skill for the day. So you'll complete these quests and you'll get quest points. And so far, everything in this game can be acquired through in-game currency. That's not to say you can't support the game other ways. There's Patreon, etc. But right now, there's no diamonds to buy. There's no premium currency. It's, you want to upgrade your quest cap, earn quest points through daily quests. And then the next tab I'll show you, there's a challenge tab, and that's even more ways to earn upgrades for your character. But so far, there's no pay to play element. Challenges. So here's something fairly new in the game, which again, healthy sign of a development cycle here. There's been tons of new stuff added, and we'll go over that at the end of the video. But okay, thank you, Mad Cat. And yes, grape soda, this game does look pretty cool, because it is cool. So here's challenges. This is fairly new. When you're, you know, in combat or whatever, doing stuff, you earn challenge scrolls. And there's different tiers that affect, well, not tiers, there's different locations that affect different skills. So you'll see ranged here, alchemy. If you go to mountain, which I do, there's smithing and forging and other sorts of combat and mining, and then ocean, you know, so forth. So you choose where you want to expend your challenge scroll. Again, this is not a premium currency. You earn it in-game by playing, and it'll show you how much it costs, which are these rank points here. Which yeah, anyway, so that's not what they cost. This is what you'll earn. You'll earn 1 rank point, because rank points are required to go up in tiers. Excuse me. The skill EXP, so you complete this, right? You'll get an iron chest, which has, you know, it could have money in it, it could have other resources in it, etc. But on top of that, you pick what skill that's in this location, and you can, you know, dump truck extra EXP onto that skill. So maybe you're min-maxing and you went to quests and you're like, I want to do this one-handed because my one-handed EX or my level sucks, and I want a cobalt sword and I can't even equip it. So you would min-max your combat here, and then you can go to challenges, go to mountain, and whatever it might be, right? So here, I'll show you. So only level 2 or higher anvil, which is in my house, and then smith a silver body, which is a chest piece. And then I would get that quest, and I could choose to dump it. Whoops. I could choose to dump it into one-hand sword for even more EXP. So this is another active way to play the game before you go to sleep and be idle, right? But yeah, again, these rank points, they're earned by completing challenges from scrolls you get while playing the game to then further increase the tier of challenges that will give you better returns. And you can see it implements the tome, which is, you know, another new mechanic within the enchanting. How many chests to get a next tome where you can craft and then, you know, enlarge your passive enhancements. Okay, so now we're moving on to skills. Lucas says hi. Never mind. Bye. Hi, bye, Lucas. Yes, I have 4 or 5 scrolls. Okay, listen, I didn't start doing challenges for a while. Okay, my guild will let you know that I am just oblivious, and I was just rocking with a copper pickaxe, and I was chilling like a villain, you know. And you can do that. But so here's skills. Here's the, you know, the idle components of the game of like what you're actually partaking in through actions, right? So we have wood. I'm not going to go through all of it, but we have wood cutting. And this is something I wanted to point out to you, the different tiers for each skill, but also the outskirts. So this is, when I was showing you the housing aspect of the game, it's not as simple. Those blueprints, they're not as easy to come by. And you can't just buy them off the market. You can't just, you know, dilly-dally and you'll get it, you know, from RNG. Well, it is kind of RNG, but you have to travel to the outskirts. And you'll see here, so here's pine, or we'll go to birch. Here you get cherries, which can be used in crafting or selling, whatever, and birch log. Well, if you go to the outskirts, now not only do you get the log and cherries, but you have a chance to get a wood cutting rune, right? But if you go even further, so birch tree, you'll get the kiln blueprint, well, a chance. And what's the difference between the outskirts and the village? You'll see here, it's highlighted up top. I'm trying to point at it, I don't know why. Chance to encounter monsters. And it goes off of like your total combat level, not just like your sword or scythe or spear level or range level. But going to the outskirts, that's where you'll find your blueprints. It's just another thing to do in the game, besides, you know, just farming for resources. It forces you to, if you want to grow in tiers and you want, you know, better workstations in your house, it's going to force you to level combat. So have you engage in the game and then travel to the outskirts, where it took me months to get my kiln blueprint, but some people did it within like an hour. But you'll see here, since I had the first one, I need to go to the higher tier, which is requiring 40 combat level, to get a chance, just to have a chance to get the blueprint. And again, feeds into your housing upgrade. So that's wood cutting, that's outskirts. Mining, same thing. Here are all the different tiers, and then there's outskirt versions. And if you want to build a smelter in your house, you're going to have to get the blueprint. And, you know, I'm not going to bore you with all the different things, but there is smelting, there's smithing, there's forging. I'll show you enchanting because it's new. And here the enchanting, bones come from NPCs, buy it from other players, or actually partake in combat, and you can farm bones. And of course, it goes up in tiers, and these are locked because I don't have access to them, but this is where you create your essence that feed into tomes that give you those passive modifiers. Just another way to enhance your character, another time sink, another resource sink. And then there's farming, alchemy, fishing, cooking, and then let's go into combat, which I'm doing right now for the guild event. Everyone in my guild should be doing this right now. I have not been farming for 2 months. And here, so with combat, there's one-handed, two-handed, and range and defense. Right now, I'm leveling one-handed. It's my highest level. So I can wield stronger or higher tier swords, okay? But I've just recently learned that scythes are, like, if you're a combat purist, scythes are the way to go. So I'll probably be doing that. But here you'll see, this is my character. Everyone's got the same character right now. There's no like cosmetics in the game. This is the NPC I'm fighting, and it's on loop. So games like new games that just came out, like Idle MMO, you have to manually queue those monsters to, you know, the monsters you've hunted to attack. Here, again, Idle Purist, you select your NPC. You'll see the loot if you love numbers and things of that nature. And how much this shows how much it's worth. Okay, so you can quick glance like how much you have of something and how much you would get if you sold it to a merchant, or go to the player market and see what people are selling it for. But I just do merchant, whatever. But anyway, you don't have to queue anything up. You go to the different locations. They all have different modifiers, right? So I'm in mountain because I have mountain is good for one-handed. It says like 10% to one-handed combat. Forced, I think it's like 10% to bow, and ocean might be spear. But then there's also dungeons in the game. So certain monsters, they can drop, I think it's monsters, quests, or challenges. I can't. It's a mix of things, but they can drop dungeon scrolls, and they're really good for when we do the guild combat events because they earn a shit ton of EXP and great drops. But here, Ice Cavern, see, I don't have a dungeon map because I'm a noob, but it shows you the stats up front, and it shows you what the drops will be, or could be, excuse me. And this is why I don't have any accessories, because I'm a noob. I'm a noob. But there are dungeons in this game. They're solo right now, but group combat is on the roadmap. But yeah, so that's one-handed, that's combat. And then of course there's two-handed, and you'll see here, because I'm not doing anything, but let's see, ocean, sea jelly, 10 plus to spears, negative. So there's different modifiers here, and each of these NPCs have different types of drops. Ranged, and then defense feeds into the armor set you can wear. So it's imperative to level it. But combat is super difficult. You need food, okay? You need food and potions. You can't just, we've had a lot of our friends join the game, and they think they can just queue up for a fight, and this snail will freaking wreck you, okay? So it's one of those things where it's kind of like forcing you to enjoy other, aspects of the game. I mean, you could always just buy it from other players, but to level up your fishing, to level up your cooking so you can cook your fish, to level up your farming so you can combine fish and I think it's onions to make salmon pie, or so it's forcing you to enjoy other aspects of the game. And I say forcing in a loving way because it's not bad at all, and it's easy to level and to progress. But yeah, so that's an overview of combat. This is your overview of your stats here. But yeah, if you're gonna dive right into combat, please take some food with you because it's gonna be a bad time. And then we're moving on past the skills, and here is the leaderboards, right? Here's the flashy leaderboards. This is based on individual performance and levels and EXP, and it goes through everything. It goes through total level, total EXP. It goes through mining, all the skills, all the combat. And look at this, man. 1,400. I guess that's the cap. I didn't know that till now. Caster Brute says, can confirm, died to a sea jelly, so now I'm cooking food to equip for combat. There you go. But here are the leaderboards, so if that's your thing in games, this is what you'll be comparing yourself to, or how you'll be comparing yourself to your peers. Then the changelog. This is huge. If you're thinking of how should I say this? If you're thinking of contributing your time or spending your time on a new game, you should always check what the development cycle is, what's been added, what hasn't. And I will say Ironwood RPG, I mean, it's been in alpha for a very long time, I believe. Can we even go back? 2022? Yeah, 2022. But you can see here the progress. Oh my God, I'm probably zooming so fast. I'm so sorry. The totality of updates to this game. And the best part is the dev has a handle on his updates. And two, some of these updates are even influenced from the community because the dev has an open forum. It's not to say there's a good balance here. The dev has his vision for their game and invites open forum, feedback and testing. But it's not one of those games where like the community is overtaking the dev and the game becomes something the community, right? It's not. It's the dev's creation with the community's help. But he's turning and burning these updates. Some of them are small here, but some of them are modifiers that through player feedback they were implemented, or they're just features of the game like enchanting and the tomes and whatnot being realized through patches. So this is something really important. You should, as a player, you should review the change, not all of them, okay, but just to see what's been dropping recently. And then there's settings that don't need to show you that. And of course, there's the links. These links, so the Discord and the game itself are linked down in the description below. And then from there, you can find his Patreon. And there's also in the Discord as well. There's links there, and then TOS, etc. But that is, whew, okay, hold on. Let me go. Let's show off our members here. So that is Ironwood RPG in a nutshell. This is the game portion. I just want to, before cutting out of here, I want to show the Discord because I think it's important too, to tie in, you know, two parts to show the totality of Ironwood RPG. But if there's any questions, you can shoot them in the chat, and I can answer to the best of my ability. We do have veterans here watching, so, you know, if I don't know, I'll defer. But I don't really see any questions right now. I just see some comments and people laughing at my scroll account. But okay, if there are questions and I see them, we'll answer before we cut out here. But the next thing I want to show you is the Discord, and there's only a couple things I want to show you here. So here's the Discord. Wow, what a transition. And first, there's a changelog. I just showed you the patch notes. It's the same thing, but here's the roadmap. I don't believe there's a Trello, but here's everything that, you know, we take roadmaps here with a grain of salt because of our, you know, there's been some things from other games, but for the most part, it looks pretty attainable here. And you'll see what is on the horizon, right? So beyond daily, there's going to be weekly activities. There's going to be an actual profile page because we don't have that. We just have equipment and inventory. There's going to be group combat, which, you know, hopefully that means dungeons, maybe? I don't know. Bossing, because besides dungeons, so the dungeons, when you queue into the dungeon, there is like that boss type NPC you see there, but you will encounter other NPCs within that dungeon leading up to that boss. But that's probably going to be like a world boss mechanic or something. There's pets will be reintroduced, livable regions to gain favor in, which I don't know what that could mean. Some type of faction system maybe, and then the beta will actually have apps, so iOS and Android. And then you'll see here they will release, or they will wipe data. So I see your question there, but so that's the roadmap. And then what I also want to highlight is the dev log. So outside of the patches, this is Mickey Boy talking to the community through Discord. And you'll see here, in light of recent feedback, the wild hunt tone for combat will most likely be changed, blah, 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 blah. Like, this is where the open forum comes in. And then this is Mickey Boy acknowledging, you know, some changes and tweaks and thoughts behind, you know, some of the things going on in the game. It's not all the time. This is newly implemented, but there's posts here that, you know, besides patch notes, you can kind of get a glimpse inside the eye of the solo dev here, or the mind of the mind of the solo dev here. Josh says, rather than a question about the game, what do you think your favorite part of the game is content-wise? And Fluffy says, boss battle maids. Wrong. Okay, Josh. So my number one, there's a lot of things going on here, but my number one favorite aspect is the guild system. There's no guild chat, right? There's no chat in general. If you're not in the Discord, you're not chatting with anyone, which kind of funky, but in this day and age, a lot of games, just like Idle MMO, they're leaning towards no chat because there's no need for moderation, right? And you can kind of like keep the community close. But I like the guild implementation here. I like the quest, the daily quest for guild progress. I like the events that you can float between, combat, gathering, crafting, and engaging with your guild that way to, min-max, or, what everyone wants to align themselves to do for that event, because there's a cooldown, right? And then the buildings as well. I like the housing system. So that's my number two favorite, is the housing system. But I like the upgrades within the guild and how it's all contained, overarching, it's all contained in the game. We're not spending, we look at simple and things of that nature that require, outside resources to get ahead or to be competitive. But in this game, at least the guild mechanic, it's you working with your guildmates and the time required to earn that EXP to climb the leaderboard if that's your choice, right? So that's my number one favorite. Number two is the housing system, and then the overarching just upgrading system throughout the whole game. The different tiers and how you upgrade. It's not too punishing. It's not too wild. Not to say it's easy, but just the way it is right now, it works. Yeah, so hope that answers your question, Joss. Yeah, SimpleMMO, there's no diamonds here. But that's the overview. So I showed you the game, which is there it is. So I showed you the game itself. We went over the aspects of the game, the mechanics, what you're doing, how things work as of right now, as the current build, right? And then we went over the Discord. That's where the community is, because again, there's no chat. That's fairly helpful. The dev is active there, and there's veteran players who are always, like I said, very helpful, willing to help, willing to, and they're still recruiting for guilds there. So if you're new and you think you're not getting in the guild, you can. Okay, yeah, I'm glad to answer your question, Josh. But that is Ironwood RPG, an alpha, idle MMO. It's lightweight, but it's highly enjoyable. We've been playing it for months here at CouchCat, and a lot of our friends from SimpleMMO have joined us in that endeavor. But also the cool thing is we've expanded our community with pure Ironwood players, and that's the coolest thing about it. That the community is still willing to accept new players and grow. But yeah, that's all I really got for today. I really wanted to show you Ironwood. This is going to be turned into a full-fledged video, so not to double tap you, but that video I would definitely, it'll be condensed, and I'll post it in the Ironwood Discord if I'm allowed to, so that maybe new players can enjoy the overview itself. But that'll do it. First and foremost, thank you for everyone for coming out and supporting me. I know this isn't the normal SimpleMMO stream or even Idle MMO, but thank you for showing your support, liking the stream. If you're new here, consider subscribing, because we are going to be covering Ironwood RPG more in depth as time goes on, as the game evolves and we continue to climb in the guild leaderboard. You know what I mean? I gotta show when you're popular. But yeah, make sure hit up the links down below. Join the Ironwood Discord, join our Discord, check out the game for yourself. It takes like 2 seconds to sign up, doesn't hurt. And yeah, that's really it. Thank you for everyone for showing up, and to all the channel members for showing up. But until next time, like, subscribe, head on over to couchcatpod.com for more SimpleMMO, Idle MMO, and other MMO content. We'll see you in the Discord. Peace out, everyone. Well, let me find the end stream. Let's do that. Spooky Ironwood. It's almost Christmas. We can't be spooky anymore.